Let's go to Storytime Village. Let's go to Storytime Village. Let's go to Storytime Village. Let's go to Storytime Village.
Storytime Village.
Storytime Village.
Imagination Village.
Imagination Village.
Come on now, Storytime Village.
Storytime Village.
Place where you can grow.
Place where you can grow.
That's right now, Storytime Village.
Storytime Village.
Place where you can learn.
Place where you can learn.
Come on, let's go.
Let's go to Storytime Village. Let's go to Storytime Village. Let's go to Storytime Village. Let's go to Storytime
Come on, let's go.
Hello there, and welcome to Storytime Village, the show. On today's episode, we celebrate a man who stood for peace and justice. His name is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You may know him from his historic I Have a Dream speech.
I have a dream. My four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
We want you to learn more about this great man and his dream for America. That's why our Storytime visit features the book Martin's Big Words, read by Bishop Wade Moore. You'll learn about Martin's big words that inspire our nation. So come on, let's take a look.
Storytime Visit.
Hi, I'm Bishop Wade Moore, and today I'll be reading to you Martin's Big Words by Doreen Rappaport and illustrated by Brian Collier. Everywhere in Martin's hometown, he saw the signs white only. His mother said these signs were in all southern cities and towns in the United States. Every time Martin read the words, he felt bad until he remembered what his mother told him, "You are as good as anyone." In church, Martin sang hymns, he read from the Bible, he listened to his father preach, and these words made him feel good. When I grow up, I'm going to get big words too. Martin grew up, he became a minister like his father, and he used the big words he had heard as a child from his parents from the Bible. Everyone can be great. He studied the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. He learned how the Indian nation won freedom without ever firing a gun. Martin said love when others said hate. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. He said together when others said separate. He said peace when others said war. Sooner or later, all the people of the world will have to discover a way to live together. In 1955, on a cold December day in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks was coming home from work. A white man told her to get up from her seat on the bus so he could sit. She said no and was arrested. Montgomery's black citizens learned of her arrest. It made them angry. They decided not to ride the buses until they could sit anywhere they wanted. For 381 days, they walked to work and school and church. They walked in rain and cold and in blistering heat. Martin walked with them, talked with them, sang with them, and prayed with them until the white city leaders had to agree they would sit anywhere they wanted. When the history books are written, someone will say there lived black people who had the courage to stand up for their rights. In the next 10 years, black Americans all over the South protested for equal rights. Martin walked with them, talked with them, sang with them, and prayed with them. White ministers told them to stop. Mayors and governors and police chiefs and judges ordered them to stop, but they kept on marching. Wait. For years I've heard the word wait. We've waited more than 340 years for our rights. They were jailed and beaten and murdered, but they kept on marching. Some black Americans wanted to fight with their fists. Martin convinced them not to by reminding them of the power of love. Love is the key to the problems of the world. Many white Southerners hated and feared Martin's words. A few threatened to kill him and his family. His house was bombed, his brother's house was bombed, but he refused to stop. Remember, if I am stopped, this movement will not be stopped because God is with this movement. The marches continue. More and more Americans listened to Martin's words. He shared his dreams and filled them with hope. I have a dream that one day in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. After 10 years of protests, the lawmakers in Washington voted to end segregation. The white-only signs in the South came down. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. cared about all Americans. He cared about people all over the world, and people all over the world admired him. In 1964, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. He won it because he taught others to fight with words and not fists. Martin went wherever people needed help. In 1968, he went to Memphis, Tennessee. He went to help garbage collectors who were on strike. He walked with them, talked with them, sang with them, and prayed with them. On his second day there, he was shot and he died. His big words are alive for us today. Martin's big words.
Dr. King had a big dream for a better world for his 4 children. One of my favorite parts of the story was his dream for little boys and girls of all colors everywhere to join together as sisters and brothers. What was your favorite part of the story? Write us and let us know what you thought about today's Storytime Visit book. Hi there, Rhonda. Hi, Leroy. How are you today?
Hi, Priska.
Howdy there, Miss Priska.
I am super. We've been talking about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and that makes me want to cheer.
Cheerleader, cheerleader, Rhonda the cheerleader. Cheerleader, cheerleader, Rhonda the cheerleader. R-E-A-D read, R-E-A-D read. R-E-A-D read, R-E-A-D read. Cheerleader, cheerleader, Rhonda the cheerleader. Cheerleader, cheerleader, Rhonda the cheerleader. R-H-O-N-D-A, Rhonda's gonna read today. R-H-O-N-D-A, reading is the only way. Cheerleader, woo, woo, woo. Cheerleader, woo, woo, woo. R-E-A-D read, R-E-A-D read. R-E-A-D read, R-E-A-D read.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Well, I tip my hat in respect to the great Dr. King. All this talk about his big words make me want to give a big yee-haw!
It's Leroy, your literacy cowboy. It's Leroy, your literacy cowboy. Gonna lasso up those letters, gonna lasso up those words. It's Leroy, your literacy cowboy. It's Leroy, your literacy cowboy. It's Leroy, your literacy cowboy. Gonna lasso up those letters, gonna lasso up those words. It's Leroy, your literacy cowboy. Yeehaw!
Thank you, Leroy. Well, guys, do you know what time it is? It's time for
Word of the day.
That's right, Rhonda and Leroy. It's time to help the boys and girls out there learn a new word.
All right, let's do it.
Dr. King was called a drum major for peace.
Does that mean he wore one of those funny hats and marched in front of a band?
No, silly. It means that he stood up for what was right.
That's right, Rhonda. Dr. King stood up for peace for all people. That's why we've chosen peace as our word of the day. Do either of you know the definition of the word peace?
Okay, I got this one, Miss Preska. Peace is agreement and harmony among people.
You've got it, Leroy.
I try to have peace with Leroy. Aww.
Okay, in order to spell the word, we need to begin with the first letter. Leroy, can you help us with that?
Sure. The first letter in the word peace is P. Let me get out my rope and lasso up us the letter P.
Yeehaw!
Now that we have the first letter, Rhonda, we need one of your cheers to help us spell the word.
Okay, let's do this. P-E-A-C-E. Peace begins with me. Help me out now. P-E-A-C-E. Peace begins with me. One more time. P-E-A-C-E. Peace begins with me.
All right.
Yay!
I think they've got it. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Leroy, for helping the boys and girls out there learn a new word. We're here at Christian Faith Center for the Martin Luther King Pancake Breakfast. So take a look.
I'll be turning them over here in a little bit. Supper tonight. She'll need something to eat. We got you. Let me get these picked up so you don't step. Don't worry about it.
Every time Martin read the words, he felt bad, until he remembered what his mother told him, "You are as good as anyone." And he used the big words he had heard as a child from his parents and from the Bible. He said peace when others said war. Sooner or later, all the people of the world will have to discover a way to live together. Martin walked with them, talked with them, sang with them, and prayed with them. White ministers told them to stop. Mayors, governors, police chiefs, and judges ordered them to stop, but they kept on marching. in Montgomery, Alabama. Rosa Parks was coming home from work. A white man told her to get up from her seat on the bus so he could sit. She said no and was arrested. He said, "Remember, if I am stopped, this movement will not be stopped because God is with this movement." After 10 years of protest, the lawmakers in Washington voted to end segregation. The white-only signs in the South came down. And on his second day there, he was shot and he died. His big words are alive for us today. Martin's big words.
Okay, so this time on Riddles on the Road, instead of riddles, we have fun facts.
All righty, I'm ready.
All of the fun facts today are about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Here's the first fact. What was the name of Dr. King's most famous speech?
Let me see if my friends at the Dr. Martin Luther King Pancake Breakfast and Parade have the answer.
I have a dream.
Yay, you got it right. It was his I Have a Dream speech. Way to go!
Yay. My turn. This is a hard one. Who refused to give up her seat on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama?
Let's see if the kids at the MLK event know.
It's Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks, I knew that.
Maybe next time.
Maybe. All right, one more fun fact for you, Leroy.
Yes.
What was the name of the world-famous prize that Martin Luther King received?
Let me ask one of my friends.
That's not right. Sorry. It was the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yay!
Maybe next time.
Yes, yes.
Do you have any MLK fun facts?
If so, send them to our website below.
For your chance to be featured on the next episode of Riddles on the Road.
It's time for family time with Miss Jean, so grab your parents or your guardian and let's talk.
Hello there. It's Miss Jean, a Wichita Creole with a passion for great stories and books. I want to encourage each of you out there to read at home, by yourself, and as a family. We just heard the inspiring story, Martin's Big Words, by Doreen Rappaport. Now that you've heard the story, let's talk about it. Today, during family time, we're going to talk about justice. Justice is the quality of being fair and reasonable. It's about making sure everyone gets equal opportunities. Do you think Rosa Parks in the book was treated fairly and reasonably when she was asked to give up her seat on the Montgomery bus? No. But the African American community in Montgomery fought for justice when they boycotted the buses. They boycotted change. The boycott changed their community and eventually the nation for the better. Have you or anyone in your family had to fight for justice? Maybe you faced unfair treatments and stood up for what was right. Families, tonight during your story time, have a discussion about justice. Share stories about what justice looks like. Finish your family time talk with a good book. Pick out a new book to read together tonight. You can visit our website for book picks, activities, and more family time stories from me. See you soon.
are here at Christian Faith Center, and we are about to embark upon the Martin Luther King Parade. Are you ready, Rhonda? Are you ready, Leroy? All right, come on, let's go.
We're out here at the Martin Luther King Day Parade. We're having fun, trying to keep warm. But it's a beautiful sunny day out here. I'm loving this. How about you, Rhonda?
Me too, Leroy. It's so much fun.
Oh, look, people. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I'm Bishop Wade Moore. I'm the founder of the MLK Parade, organizer. Thank y'all so very much, for participating in your citywide Martin Luther King Parade. The president of the local NAACP, Colonel Larry Burks.
Thank you, Pastor Moore. Thank you, citizens of Wichita, for constantly reminding ourselves, this state, and the nation of the importance of what Dr. Martin Luther King meant to this country. It is something we should never forget. He advocated for equality, the end of discrimination for all people. We need to live together as one, and we should never forget that. It's our nation's dream for all of us to be able to live together as one in this country.
My name is Brandon Johnson. I'm the new District 1 City Councilman here.
Best district in the city.
I will be short. I will. The best district in the city. Dr. King believed the life's most persistent, urgent question is, what are you doing for others?
My name is Lavonta Williams, and I am a community activist. You know, one of the other things that Dr. Martin Luther King was about, he was about nonviolence. He thought that he could do things in nonviolent patterns and nonviolent ways. There's a counter that's right over there that looks like it's ready to serve people as they come and order a Coke and a hamburger. In 1958, there was a group of young people from the NAACP who said, we want to go downtown in Wichita and we want to sit at the counter and have a hamburger and a Coke. Because in 1958, they could not sit at the counter. They had to order their food from the back and take it out. They were not allowed to sit down with their friends at a counter. So that counter is there to help you to understand and for us to remember that in 1958, Wichita had the very first civil rights sit-in in the country.
This has been so fun having this parade. I've been having a great time. What about you, Leroy?
Oh, I had a fun time out there waving at kids.
Yeah, giving away candy.
Yes. Now, who's that photobombing back there? I see you.
Yeah, they tried to do that.
Hi, I'm Erin, one of the librarians at the Wichita Public Library. Today, we're at the Central Library, and I have some great books to share with you. To celebrate Martin Luther King Day, this picture book about student action is an excellent introduction to the nonviolent sit-in movement. Sit-in, How 4 Friends Stood Up by Sitting Down, written by Andrea Davis Pinkney and illustrated by Brian Pinkney, published by Little Brown & Company, a division of Hachette Book Group. 4 hungry friends arrive at the Woolworth's lunch counter in Greensboro, North Carolina in 1960. When the manager refuses service to them because they are black, the students decide to sit quietly in protest of this rule. Their inspiration? The words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Using food as an extended metaphor, Andrea Pinkney tells their story of dignity and how it spread to stores across the country, where other students refused to move without being served, just like the white customers. Brian Pinkney's dynamic illustrations capture the students' energy and determination, even when others treat them badly. This short introduction to the civil rights movement will resonate with young readers, who will see that wanting a donut and coffee with cream on the side was far greater than just a bite to eat. Our next pick is I Am Martin Luther King Jr., written by Brad Meltzer and illustrated by Christopher Eliopoulos, published by Dial Books for Young Readers, a division of Penguin Young Readers Group. From his days as a clumsy kid playing with neighborhood friends to his realization that words could move a nation, meet young Martin Luther King Jr. as he gathers his friends, develops a strategy to fight injustice, and makes his mark on history. The graphic format of this book will engage young readers and help them to envision the early events that shaped the civil rights movement. After this book, readers may have more questions about nonviolent resistance and might be ready to learn about some of the leaders that inspired King, like Henry David Thoreau and Mahatma Gandhi. For more good books like these, come check us out at the Wichita Public Library.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had some really inspiring big words like, everyone can be great. And you can be great, especially when you read. Reading will help you imagine, learn, and grow. Visit our website to watch past episodes of our show and hear our Storytime visits time and time again. We'll see you next time on Storytime Village, the show.